Okay, guys. Uh, how are you guys doing? Okay, so today we're going to be talking about some couple of things, which basically is going to still touch a bit on what we have done before, but basically a little more in depthly, and that's somewhere around uh, the graphics, the essential graphics area, and also on the animating aspect of our work. That's animating the graphics and text and objects and stuff. So, but what we're going to be doing is actually going to include more of how we use the transform tool because we're going to be using not a transform tool, the transformation effect rather and stuff. So this is basically what I have, and this should help us in touching some of the aspects of using this tool. So I'll play this now and we can see. All right, so I just out here. Okay, so basically this is what we have. Let me just quickly render in and into our so that's the render into our sequence, render into out. Okay, so that I'll have it play more smoothly. If you're trying to play a video on your system, and that's for a job on the phone and it doesn't play well, we could do that. So you notice that the line initially was yellow, but now it's green, means I should actually play around much more better. So, alright, cool. Alright, so what I just played now is what I want us to run through, is what I want us to work on. So I'll go to the sequence where we want to do that, and then I'll show you how we could actually achieve that. All right, cool. All right, so first off is the background. I'm going to zoom in here so we can see the side of the screen much closer and make it 100 fit in. Okay, cool. All right, just want us to see the screen better. All right, so some of these things since I've already had them, I've already had the items or the animation done initially, so you already see some things I have here, and within them are the project files, the work files and stuff. So don't be confused about all these things here. I'm just going to redo them from scratch and all that. So let's go there. So perhaps I just create a new folder and I call this scratch. So working from a new from working from a new space and all that, so you don't get confused. And also, let me take this back to fit. Yeah, I know it's small, but we can work with it. Okay, so I right click and sorry, I'll go to new items and then create color mats. Now the colors that we're going to be using here is green and white, and that basically connotes the color of our flag. That's what I'm following, the color of the Nigerian flag. So this here is going to be green, and I'll say okay. That's the first color mat I created. I'll hold and drag this into the timeline. Let me expand this so see everything. Okay, cool. All right. So I'll also create another one, and sorry, so I can right click to get it. I can right click to get the new items and then color mat, or I could go down here to this icon here, this folded piece of paper icon. Click on it and go to color mat. You still see the same option to create a color mat. So the next color I'm going to create is a white, just a pure white color, no biggie, and I'll call this one white. Okay, so okay, all right, all right. So I would okay, I don't think I changed the color of this one, so let's just go ahead and change the color of this one and look for a green color. Okay, green. Okay, that color's cool. All right, so let me drag my white into the background. This is my white color here. I think my white is white. Okay, cool. My white is all white. All right. So since we have the color green, white, green, I think there should be two green layers and two green layers and one white layer. So I'm going to duplicate this green layer by holding down my Alt. When I hold down my Alt, I drag up. All right, so I have two green layers and one white layer at the bottom here, so that I can work with. So let's go ahead now and create our flaggy theme here. Okay, so I'll go down to my effects right here and then look for crop tool. Just type on crop tool, you see it over here, and I'll drag down into the first green and perhaps also the second green. I need it on both greens. So now if you remember from what I talked about in the last sessions we've had, I made mention that for whatever an effect is added to a layer, to a video, or we go to the effect and controls to find it. So the effect doesn't show up here, or it actually comes around here. So if I go down to my effect and controls, we can see the effect that was actually dropped into that particular layer. In this case, it is the crop effect, which is this one over here. As you can see, FX effects. Okay, these are also effects, but they are like default effect, always there. So I'll drop my crop down, and I'll move the first green. Like, let's go to the first green, the one on top here. Yeah, I'll move it to the left. So please tell me where the left is. Okay, so I'll move this like, let's say 66% to the left, and let me hide the other layer so we can see how that happens. So just hit the green layer here so we can see how this happens. So I moved it 66%. If I see this is moving this way, so just type 66 again and say okay. All right, and then let me unhide this one. For the second one, I'll move it like 66% to the right. Okay, so there we have green white green. So just in case you guys are confused, I just use 66 as like a standard and all of that. So you could actually move it whenever or however you want. It could be 70%, it could be 80%, but I think I just chose to use 66% here. So I'm not going to be applying it to the whites. I just need the green and I just need the green, so yeah, the green left and right to be cropped to this side and all of that. So that's all I did there. Okay, so I'll play back the video we've done so I can follow through with what's like the animation really looks like. So the first thing that happens here is, let me quickly mute this audio because it's quite noisy, so mute it. Cool. So the first thing that happens here is the shape pops into frame. That's the pizza shape pumps into frame. So since it's an ad for a pizza company, you're doing an ad for a pizza company and stuff. So that's why you're saying the pizza. So don't get confused. All right, so I'll go back to my ads here, and I'll go into my uh I'll go into my images. Okay, this is where I have my images, and I have the P's actually stand for pizzas and stuff. I think I forgot to rename this, so I'll just right click and rename this. This is also supposed to be pizza, so I think it's P1, pizza 1. So I have a couple of images for my pizzas. So yeah, so let me just double click to be sure. Okay, double click to be sure, double click to be sure. So I'm double clicking to be sure of the images that I have there, and this is all now. Okay, those are images that I'm actually going to use for this project and stuff. So the first pizza I think I need is the one for the logo pizza, and I do not know where I had dropped it. Okay, so let me just go ahead now and get it from wherever it is. I'll just go and get it from wherever it is. So I'll just double click here and go to my desktop. I believe I have it in my desktop, and I call that work file. Okay, cool. And yeah, it is the arrow one logo. Okay, cool. So not to get confused, I'll rename it as the pizza logo, so I don't start looking for it again next time, because I'm sure it's somewhere in here. So I'll drag that also into my images, so I have all my images in one place here. Okay, so let me go ahead now and drag my pizza logo into the screen. just as it is right now. Yeah, cool. And I'll drag my greens maybe a little bit to this side. So the first animation that I'll be doing is the animation to the pizza logo. So I'll hold this, drag this down just so I can see just the video part of the screen and all that. So that's what I did. So here you have your pizza logo. I need to reduce the size a little bit and then do the animation. So come here, come down to motions, and for motions you see your position and your scaling. I'll scale this down a bit just like that. I think that works for me. Let me see. Okay. Um, Maybe make it a 55% scale. Okay, cool. Well, that works for me. All right, let me come back to where it was before, and I'll go down to my effects this time. Remember, whenever you're looking for stuff, you can find them here if this is too cumbersome for you. Mine is because I have a lot of things opened up. So I'll come down here, look for effect, that sits over there, and I'll type in transform. Okay, cool. All right, this is my transform here, and I'll hold and drag my transform into the pizza. Hold my transform into the pizza. Okay, so I have my pizza up here already. It's shown there, and I have my transform here. So basically, same thing we do in motions is what we're going to be doing in the transform effect. The only difference is that the transform effect kind of gives us this motion blur. It helps us with motion blur effect, and that's the reason why we're using transform. No other reason, because whatever it is we're looking for in transform here, we can get it in motion. But we want our animation to have somewhat of a motion blur. That's why we're using the transform effect, and it's quite cooler too. So let's go ahead and do that. Um, I'll come down here and go down to this area here. Let me just expand this so that you see what's written there. Okay. So over here, I'm going to click on that like I'm unselected, yeah. So use composition shuttle angle. Yeah, I'm going to deselect that because I don't need that, and I'll raise this to 180. This actually gives us the blurry effect. Yeah, but you know what? First of all, I'm just going to take it out. I'm going to take it out and then do this without the blur effect, and then add the blur effect just so that you see how it works. So I'll go ahead now, make sure I'm on the first frame here, move this down a bit, and then I'll scale this out or take it out of frame, just maybe 0. That should work, and create a keyframe for that scale. Then move maybe a frame forward, and then take it to like maybe 110. Like I'll overshoot it so it comes like more than it should. Right, that's overshoot. Okay, and then around here I will bring it back to the original position, which is 100. Okay, cool. All right, nice. So if I play, I have it like this. All right, cool. So it settles in somewhere at the end. Cool. Hope you guys see that it settles in somewhere at the end. Okay, so the last thing I'll do now is I'll just come down to this. I wonder if you guys notice this, like no blur, good. But then again, I come here and I add my 180, put it around this area here, make this 180 for the blur effect, and then see if you notice the blur. All right. Okay, this is not 180, this is 80. Okay, cool. All right, this should give me some blur effect. So if you notice, there's a little blur, motion blur on the pizza now. So, all right, cool. All right, so let me just decrease this speed and increase the speed a bit. So, all right, okay. So that's what we have. So we have this pizza coming in like that. And another thing I would like to do is I do not want it to be visible around this area because it's quite tiny. So I want it to like fit into scene, into the screen, so to say. So from around here, I'm going to animate my opacity. I click here. This is for the opacity. This for the position of the opacity. Sorry, there's no such thing as position of opacity, but this is for the opacity on 100%. So I'm just going to drag it here. That's when the object is like 100% visible. So but around here I want it to be invisible, like not visible. So I'll just play from here. Okay, cool. So it's not visible around until it gets somewhere around there. Let me just move this in a bit. So it's not visible here, and from here it starts getting visible and comes into frame. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, cool. Right click, go to my easy in and easy in there. Okay, cool. All right, so it goes like that. All right. Okay, so we've done that with the with our logos.